Hey there, welcome back to Genuine Recaps. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing movie recaps. Mech was shot and chased by the police for a criminal offense. Soon, he felt a nurse's wound. Suddenly, a man walked up to him, covered in a thick cloth, and said to him, "I'll save Mech if he can swear allegiance to him." Mech thought it was a joke and accepted the risky offer. Immediately, the cloaked man drew his hand out and gave Mech an intense radiated power. Before the police could get to Mech, he already teleported into the spirit realm with his new master. A few days later, a monk was meditating in his chambers and saw a vision of chaos on Earth. He immediately knew trouble was on its way, so he picked up his gear and went in search of the chosen gatekeeper of the spirit realm and human realm. Meanwhile, Jake, Prang, and their daughter Lu landed in Thailand for a family vacation. Jake was the gatekeeper, but he had no idea. He kept getting calls from work, which Prang wasn't okay with. They made their way into the city and to their hotel room. On getting to their hotel room, they unpacked quickly. After this, they went into the city to explore it together as a family. Jake and Prang talked about the difference between family time and work, and after settling the little issue, they kissed. A few seconds later, they couldn't find Lu, who was meant to be with them. So they panicked and went in search of her. They shouted her name but couldn't find her, but Jake sighted her from a distance, playing with a butterfly and a monk. On getting there, they were relieved and thanked the monk for looking after their daughter. The monk told Jake that he was the keeper of the gates, the child born in death under a blood moon. Jake couldn't process it all, so he uncomfortably thanked the monk for his help and left with his family. Moving on, the family went to a mall and got ice cream. While this was happening, Mech walked into the same mall with a gun. Lu, on the other hand, asked her father for karate lessons when they got back to America. Jake was surprised by her request and accepted. Lu then told Jake that he had to attend all her practices and made him pinky swear that he would attend. She also told her father that a pinky swear was the strongest and unbreakable. Prang returned and saw chocolate drops of ice cream on Lu's shirt and took her to clean it off. A few minutes later, Mech began a shootout in the mall, which made everyone panic and run helter-skelter for cover. Jake ran immediately to locate his family and told Prang that he had to help the people in the mall to stop Mech. Prang panicked, saying it didn't have to be him, but Jake insisted. Lu and Prang ran into hiding under a toilet sink. Jake, on the other hand, located Mech and got a gun, pointing it at Mech. Mech teased Jake, acting crazy and like a psycho. So Jake shot Mech twice in the chest, which made him drop to his knees, bleeding profusely. Mech then told Jake that he was the gatekeeper and that he was sent by his master to kill him off. Before Mech died, he released the intense radiation inside him like a bomb, and there was a massive explosion that made the gates of hell open, and demons flew freely, possessing humans and causing a state of emergency in the city. Humans were fighting humans, killing each other. Prang and Lu had to make sure they avoided any violence, so they hid from the humans in the fights. Prang had to make selfless decisions to ensure Lu wasn't hurt. After this, Jake regained consciousness after the explosion, as did a policeman named Erat. They were both surprised they survived the explosion. Prang and Lu got to the exit of the building, trying to make their way to their hotel room where Jake told them to meet him. The roadside was madness, seeing people kill each other. They had to avoid the violence and keep running until they got to a store where they could hide for the time being. Luke told her mom she was really scared and asked if her daddy was going to be all right. Prang assured Lu that he was fine and would meet them at the hotel room. Jake and Erat were still trying to understand why there were no dead bodies from Mech's explosion until a possessed human showed up and attacked Erat, stabbing him and killing him instantly. Jake shot her, but there was no effect. She attacked Jake, but he fought back, putting her down and running off. She got up immediately and went after Jake again. Jake had to hide to avoid it, making sure he wasn't being spotted by the possessed human, had to hide. She found him again, but Jake escaped once more in search of his family. Prang and Lu, who were still hiding from the possessed humans, tried to make a phone call, but there was no signal. A possessed human walked into the store, looking for humans to kill. Lu had to make sure she wasn't spotted by it. She tried her best, but it found her. Trying to kill her, Prang came to the rescue. Jake was still looking for his family in the mall when the possessed human tried to attack him. He fought back, tying it to a wall so it wouldn't follow him anymore. Prang and Lu found their way to a bus park. They saw normal people and immediately boarded the bus with them. After resting for a while, she asked the bus driver if the bus was still operational. He replied that the key was outside, but no one volunteered to retrieve it due to the presence of the possessed humans. If you have made it this far, please consider subscribing for more epic recaps. She then volunteered to go, taking a spanner for self-defense. After picking up the bag of keys and preparing to enter the bus, she was dragged back and beaten by the possessed humans until a man came to her rescue, and they managed to escape. Jake later arrived at the bus park, but this time he was accompanied by a companion, a demon monster, who was trying to eat him. He ran for his life. Meanwhile, Prang and her daughter were instructed to exit the bus because abandoned vehicles were blocking the road. Jake continued to flee as he was relentlessly pursued by the monster, but eventually, he was saved by a monk. The monk took him to a place where the monster could not penetrate the building. He then led Jake to his room, where Jake recognized him. The monk introduced himself as Chan. Chan began to explain that Jake was in a world of hindrance because he was being held accountable for his actions. He also revealed that the man Jake had killed had opened the gate of hell, allowing demons to roam the earth, possess the weak, and collect souls. In time, Jake's father would return with great strength. Chan further explained that his father, Wichian, was a powerful necromancer and was behind everything that was happening. Mech, whom Chan had killed at the mall, was his father's servant. After Chan killed Mech, he completed a ritual that would soon fully open the gate of hell. If that occurred, there would be no turning back, but there was still a chance to close it. Chan was solely obsessed with saving his family. Thus, the monk made an agreement with Chan. He would help him find his family after Chan closed the gate of hell and stopped his father from returning. Prang and Lu later arrived at the hotel, but were unfortunate enough to encounter two possessed humans fighting each other. They later attacked her, but she managed to escape. As she was about to flee with Lu, she saw another possessed individual, whom she immediately struck with a bottle, and they entered the hotel room together. Chan and Jake began their search for Mech, who had been killed at the bus park. Chan informed Jake that Mech would lead them to his father. While on their way, they heard a loud noise calling for help, and Jake immediately rushed to save her, dispatching little demons in his path. Jake realized he had met the lady at the mall before and felt confused.
I've seen you before.
The demon monster reappeared and began chasing them until it caught the girl and devoured her. That night, Chan explained to Jake that the girl he had seen was a lost soul whom the giant demon fed upon. He then informed Jake that he had died during the explosion. Jake began to worry about how he would save his family. Chan told him that they would need a vessel and a portal to return to their former reality. While Prang and Lu were asleep, Prang heard a knock on the door calling her name. When she opened it, she was surprised to see Jake. Jake and Chan found the portal, but in their path was EGA Pak Lek, a particularly nasty demon who had been hunting them. As they approached the portal, they encountered numerous flying demons, but Chan was able to fend them off, and they ran to the portal, pursued by the demons until they arrived and teleported to reality. Jake later realized that his body had changed, but his spirit remained intact. Chan then apologized to Jake, explaining that it was the best he could do on short notice and that he needed a body to interact with the physical world. As Prang and the so-called Jake were in the hotel, Prang told Jake that they needed to leave the city, but he was behaving strangely. When he stood in front of the mirror, he realized he had transformed into Mech, although Prang and Lu did not notice. Chan handed Jake an ancient gun named Flintlock that could summon bullets. If he managed to shoot Mech with it, it would kill him. He also provided Jake with a Nona metal knife, which could cancel dark magic. Jake and Chan unexpectedly arrived at Jake's hotel, only for Chan to give him a look indicating that Mech was present. While Prang and Mech were in the room, the telephone rang and Mech answered the call, also writing something down on a piece of paper. Jake and Chan arrive at the hotel room, only to find a baby doll that Mech had been holding at the mall. Chan noticed the piece of paper Mech had written on, and at that moment, Lu called out his father's name. Jake immediately rushed to them, but when he arrived, his family could not recognize him. Mech came from behind and hit him hard on the head. They fought fiercely, exchanging punches. Just as Jake was about to shoot Mech, he pushed him into the water. As Jake pulled out a knife and prepared to stab him, Prang pointed a gun at Jake, not realizing it was him because he was wearing a different disguise. She eventually shot him, leaving Mech alive, still unaware that he was the real demon. Chan later saved Jake from being devoured by the EGA Pak Lek. He explained that he had found the gate of hell after discovering a paper Mick had left behind, but the ancient words could not be read by everyone. Chan told Jake that he was the only one who could close the gate of hell. They arrived home, where Chan's father was preparing for the opening of the gate of hell. Chan informed Jake that he had another body to give him a chance to overcome Mek and his father. Meanwhile, Mek brought Prang and Lu to Master Witchian, claiming he had brought the blood of the keeper. It was now time for the ritual. As Witchian was about to kill Lu for the sacrifice, Jake burst in, beating one of Witchian's guards and kicking another. Witchian then ordered his guards to destroy Jake and sent him back to the hindrance. Jake continued to stab the guards one after another. Jake's killing spree continued until Mick grew tired and decided to confront him. He shot at Jake, but Jake dodged the bullet and attempted to stab him. During their fight, Jake knocked the gun out of Mick's hand, and Prang picked it up, shooting the knife Witchian was holding just as he was about to sacrifice Lu. Prang later passed the gun to Jake, who shot Mick. However, as Mick was getting up, the massive demon monster picked him up and devoured him. Witchian told his son that he wouldn't be able to stop him, but Jake stabbed him from behind. Before he died, Witchian confessed that for the gate of hell to be closed, Jake had to pass through it. This left Jake confused, and he asked Chan if it was true. Chan confirmed that it was true. He had hoped to find another way, but couldn't. Jake met with his family one last time before heading to hell. He walked slowly into the gate, and as he did, he saved the world.